raised to a little higher level of behavior. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانِ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُم. But this iman, Allah has made it so beloved to your hearts. And He has made it beautiful to your hearts. And He has made you dislike kufr, obstinacy. And let me tell you something. According to Ibn Rifa', the Shafi'i Imam, who's considered a very high scholar in the Shafi'i madhab, he said, if no one has rejected Islam, then they should not be considered kuffar. But he said that they should be considered ala ma'na al-Muslim. In other words, that they should be understood to be Muslims, la ala tahqiq, not in some legal sense. So if they die, they're not buried with the Muslims, they don't inherit with the Muslims. But if they have showed no obstinacy towards Islam, if they've shown no outward, because look, I really want you all to do this as an exercise. Even if you don't know Arabic, go through Yusuf Ali's Quran or whatever, Arbery or Pickthall. I mean, they're all limited, but go through one of them. There's a few I wouldn't recommend. But go through one of them, and I want you to look every time the word kufr and kuffar are mentioned, and look at the qualities that go with those people. Look at the quality. See, there's Muslims say, but Allah says, قَدْ كَفَرُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثَةٍ. God says they have disbelieved those who said Jesus is one of three. Right? I mean, that's in the Quran. I'm not going to deny that. But why did Allah say, قَدْ كَفَرُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا, and use past tense, referring, who were the people that first innovated that? And after that, people believed their priests, their rabbis, their churches. They believed it all. They're simple people. Those people aren't in a state of kufr. They're just people that have inherited something that they trusted their own people. And that's true for any group. Right? And that's why Allah doesn't judge according to those type of criteria. He judges according to people's intentions. And thank God He does. Thank God He does. Seriously. So just be careful about throwing that word around. Who's going to hell and who's not going to hell. Because you don't know. The kuffar are in hell. There's no doubt about that. But you better be clear on what that definition means. Because Abu Sufyan fought the Prophet for 20 years in battle and ended up becoming a Muslim and dying as a mujahid fi sabilillah. So all that 20 years, he was considered a kafir. But was he a kafir? We can't say Abu Sufyan was a kafir. So you should be careful because you don't know people's end. You don't know where they're going. None of us know that. It's not our business. It's Allah's business. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-fusuq wal-isyan, all of these horrible qualities and disobedience, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الرَّاشِدُونَ, those are guided people. فَضْلًا مِنَ اللَّهِ وَالنِّعْمَةِ, bounty from God and blessings. وَاللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ, and Allah knows everything and is all wise. وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا, if two groups amongst believers fight, rectify between. That's the first thing to do. You know what Muslims do now? They join one side or the other. They don't try to rectify. They just join right in the brawl. The first commandment is to rectify, to create peace. And then after that, and that's for governments anyway, except for small disputes amongst people. But this is talking about governments and bughat. And فَإِن بَغَتْ أَحْدَاهُمَا عَلَى الْأُخْرَى, but if one is oppressing the other, فَقَاتِلُوا الَّتِي تَبْغِي, and then oppose the ones who are oppressing, حَتَّى تَفِيءَ إِلَى أَمْرِ اللَّهِ, until they come back to the affair of God, which is to be in a state of peace. فَإِن فَأَتْ, so when they come back, فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا بِالْعَدْلِ, and even once they return, rectify. In other words, even after the fight's over, once you fought them, still rectify the heart. Work to rectify. And that's the message of Quran. It's trying to bring human beings together. Really, to bring us together. To work together. And this planet's got so many problems now. The problems that we're facing as a species. Do you know, I mean, when we have the Astronomer Royal saying that this very well might be the last century of life on Earth, because we have done such a poor job at being caretakers of this planet. I mean, we're in serious trouble. And if we don't start working together and helping each other, and the two worst groups, as far as I can see, are the politicians and the religious leaders. They're causing more problems. You know, the whole lot of them. All those politicians and religious leaders that use opportunities to create pain and suffering, you know. And I'm the first to condemn all these injustices, but I'm just questioning the intelligence of the responses. That's all I'm doing. I'm questioning the intelligence because I want to see a resolution. And my understanding of Islam is it's about looking towards how to resolve things. It's not simply, you don't just fight for fighting's sake. Ibn Taymiyyah said in the verse in the Quran, al-fitnatu ashaddu wa akbaru min al-qatri, in another verse,